Hello and welcome to First and 40, the most informative 40 minutes of football news out there. I'm Liamith.
And I'm Mehul, and today we're just going to go over some major news in the NFL world, going over the future of some major teams and some really interesting trades that might be happening really soon. So, the main teams we're going to be talking about today are the Chargers, Packers, Browns, and then a few other players and a few other big news in the NFL world. So, let's go ahead and get started with the Chargers. Liam, what are your thoughts on that?
So, I personally think the Chargers are going to be a team that's going to be a real competitor in the AFC this year, considering the fact that we have Justin Herbert coming back from a spectacular rookie season, winning an Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Yeah,
And then
record-breaking rookie season.
yeah, and then we also have Keenan Allen and that just insane dynamic offense. And they also signed Melvin Ingram. Personally, I don't think that's going to be that big of an effect on the Chargers overall, but it would still play a role in their goal of at least getting to the playoffs or maybe even more into the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I definitely agree, but I think the Chargers are getting not crazy overrated, just a little bit overrated right now. Just mainly because people are looking at them as like a 11, maybe a 12 win team. I think they're like somewhere around a 9 win team. I think that's a perfect number. A nine and 8 is a good spot for them this year, just mainly because they're really young. And I know Justin Herbert did have a great rookie season with like 31 touchdowns and 10 picks. That's like crazy for a rookie. No, I don't think we've ever seen anything like it. And this team definitely be better. And they're obviously the coaching a lot held them back, and a lot of really bad decisions by Anthony Lynn last year cost them games in the end. And they definitely were better than what their record said last year. But I think 11 and 12 wins is a little too much to ask for, especially with this team. And I think they have a chance to sneak in with a wild card spot. Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, I understand that considering the fact of how young Justin Herbert is, as you said, how young this team is. But that also goes to show that they could have a lot more potential or a lot more downside. It's just that uncertainty with just one rookie year. I mean, he established himself as a pretty good NFL quarterback, but there's still some uncertainty in claiming that he's going to be a franchise quarterback. So I completely understand your take on that. Do you have any additional thoughts to that? What's the Chargers backfield looking like right now? Hello. Cannot hear you, Mehul.
Hello?
Yeah, okay. I'll just cut that part out.
Sorry, it was really glitchy for a second.
Yeah, you just couldn't
I don't
hear
know
me.
what the heck happened.
Okay, I'll just cut that part out. Okay, so
Sorry, I don't know what just
yeah, you're
happened.
fine. Yeah,
Like I
so
couldn't hear you.
yeah, I couldn't hear you either. Do you want me to just restart? I'm not restarting. I'll just cut this out. Okay.
No, we'll just listen to where we stopped, and then we'll just continue from
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Okay. So, speaking of the Chargers, do you have any thoughts on that backfield with the Chargers? I mean, Austin Eckler's in there. I mean, he's also pretty young, but I mean, what do you think? Do you think their backfield could be a problem?
Well, for a running back, he's not really that young, to be honest, but definitely, especially I'm talking because like I've been looking a lot in fantasy. He's definitely a huge pickup in the first and second round in fantasy drafts. So he's gonna, especially with the high like passing offense and big arm of Justin Herbert, he's gonna get a lot of receptions, and especially as a great receiving back, Austin Eckler. He's going to get tons of reception, tons of yards, and obviously tons of carries in that really good offense. And this is just something else. They uh, spent a lot of money and especially draft capital on their O line this year, which was a really big problem
Yeah,
for them. Like drafting Rashawn Slater at 13th
I was
overall.
just about to say that. Yeah.
Yeah, they got Brian Bulaga, Corey Linsley from the Packers. Yeah, they definitely had a really good offseason from what I've seen. Even though they lost Hunter Henry, they got Jared Cook, who's a pretty average tight end. They got Josh Palmer from the Tennessee Titans. And yeah, like not really anything groundbreaking in the offseason, but just a lot of solid pickups and solid things to make their roster better than what it was last year.
Yeah, and Josh Palmer wasn't the Tennessee Titans. He was out of the College of Tennessee. But yeah,
Oh, I saw Tennessee.
yeah, it's the Tennessee Volunteers. But yeah, I understand where you're coming from. I mean, looking at their draft picks now, they added a lot on defense. Looking back at it, they added Asante Samuel Jr., who I think fell a little bit, if I'm not mistaken. Um,
Yeah, I was hoping the Falcons would take him at whatever pick they had, but that's something else. But yeah, I don't really know much about him. I know he went to Florida State. He's like the son or like cousin of
his
Asante
father,
Samuel.
his father, he
Oh,
played
that's so
11
he's a
seasons.
junior. I'm so stupid.
His father is Asante Samuel, four-time Pro Bowler who played 11 seasons with the Patriots, Eagles, and the
And the
Falcons.
Falcons.
Yep.
Yep.
But, I mean, yeah, he had 14 pass breakups in 2019, and he was third team All ACC. I
Yeah,
mean,
they
look,
definitely had a really good draft.
yeah.
Definitely one of the top 10 draft. Well, obviously, you can't really say much until these people actually play, but based off of like first look and value of these players and
Mm-hmm.
where they had all their picks, they definitely got a really good value for where they were in the draft.
Yeah. I mean, looking here, they've got a linebacker, two offensive tackles, another linebacker, tight end, wide receiver. So they're pretty balanced throughout the draft. But yeah, they got two new offensive tackles who hopefully will develop. But Rashawn Slater, I think he should be ready to go, um, starting week one, hopefully. But
Yeah.
yeah, let's
All right, you want to move on to the
Packers.
Packers?
Yep, let's move on. So speaking of Packers, today and or yesterday, the day that we're recording this, they came out with a new statement that the Aaron Rodgers and the Packers are very close to making a deal, and as of July 27th, he has attended his first camp or whatever.
You finally
He's
showed up.
arrived at the facility, yeah, for the first time this off season. So that's a pretty big statement from him and from the Packers.
And I'm
So
I'm pretty sure, I
now,
don't know if this is true, but they were like changing his contract and stuff. I'm pretty sure they just voided the 2023 year of his contract. So basically, this is his last year. I think
yeah,
that's really what they did. They just took out the last year of his contract so
yeah,
that he'd
that's
be a free agent after this year.
that's
So I
also
think,
interesting considering the fact that we also had that post that went semi-viral of both Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams posting the exact same picture of Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, which was also related to The Last Dance. So everyone's saying after the 2021-22 season, that both Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams will be leaving Green Bay and splitting
yeah.
ways, or one of them could stay. Most likely going to be Devontae Adams if one of them does stay. But
I Yeah, obviously, definitely one of them's leaving. I think that's quite obvious. They
yeah,
don't just like post a picture randomly and it didn't happen to be coincidence out
yeah.
of nowhere. So obviously, one of them is leaving. Maybe even both because they're both free agents after this year. So yeah, I think that's pretty interesting. I was surprised that about especially Devontae Adams wanting to leave. That came out of nowhere, but I'm not surprised Rodgers came back, especially considering that it didn't really look like this was going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously he does have a lot of the leverage, but in the end, I'm not really surprised with how this ended. He's coming back to training camp, just playing this year out. Most likely his last year in Green Bay. I'm not surprised with how this ended.
I mean, to be honest, I am kind of surprised, but considering the fact that um, there wasn't really the Packers were kind of reluctant to trade him in the first place. I think that's what forced him to say, "Okay, let me at least give them one more year." Because at the beginning of this, everyone thought that he would not even show up at all, and everyone thought that this was it. It was over. Considering the fact that how what is it the severity of the situation and how he handled it, it looked very, very bad for the Packers. So I'm kind of surprised at how he was able to settle for another year and not just leave and go to another team.
it's not only that he can leave, but yeah, I see what you're saying. That definitely makes sense. And yeah, and they traded for Randall Cobb. He came back to Green Bay. Not really
Yep.
anything groundbreaking. He fell off pretty
Yeah.
hard.
I remember
But
when he
yeah,
was
that's pretty
pretty good,
interesting.
but yeah.
Yeah, him and then young Devontae Adams when he used to
That
drop
wide
everything thrown to him.
receiver.
That's back when Devontae Adams was bad.
There was,
Oh
I
man.
forgot, the Packers wide receiver core was actually not that bad when they had Jordy Nelson, Randall Cobb. Like, they were not that bad of an offense at all.
Well, they had Aaron Rodgers, so
But still, I'm
it's
just
hard to be a
saying,
bad offense when you have Aaron
no, but
Rodgers.
I'm just saying, like, overall, their targets then were significantly better than what they have right now.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
it's just like to see that decline in their targets and the potential that they have on offense is just kind of disappointing. To see a team with that much potential, that much talent, just to not go anywhere besides that 2010 Super Bowl, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think, but it was like a lot of things that really, what I feel that made Aaron Rodgers angry. Just not just the
Yeah,
Jordan Love draft pick where they didn't tell him that they were considering taking a quarterback.
yeah,
Then the worst part, they traded up to get him. That's
yeah.
even
That's even
crazier.
worse. Yeah, and he's just consistently not been getting any help. Like they've
Well,
not
I don't
really.
really think that's really it. He's definitely
It's.
had a ton
I
of
think
help the
it's.
past.
I think it's partially it. Like I don't think it's because they're not really addressing the picks, like at wide receiver. Like, do you get what I'm trying to say?
Um,
Like I just think that he feels like he's being
I know
neglected.
what you mean, especially because like he's only thrown one touchdown to a first round pick in his
Mhm.
entire career.
Yeah.
That, that that's kind of weird, I'd say. But like when when you have like first round, even more than first round caliber talent on your offense, does it really matter if they're first round picks? Because
Yeah,
like you've
yeah.
had
That's
Devontae Adams,
understandable.
Jordy Nelson, Randall Cobb, like we were just talking about.
Mhm.
Um, and then like basically a top five O line every single year, and literally um, two great running backs in the backfield now with Aaron Jones and what's his name, Quad Father,
Oh,
um,
AJ Dillon.
AJ Dillon. Yeah, two great running backs.
Yeah.
What more do you really need, especially considering? But obviously, he's not really worried about now. It's just a lot of things that they haven't done for him in the past, especially when they,
Mhm.
I don't know if they cut Jordy Nelson or they traded
I
him.
think they I think they might have traded him.
Yeah,
Let
they
me
didn't really take Rodgers' opinion, or if he wanted to keep Jordy Nelson, they didn't really care about whatever he thought about that decision. So I think there's just a lot of things piling up on top of each other. But I feel like this situation's basically over. We kind of all expect to know what's going to happen. It's going to be his last year. Just going to play this year out. It'd be cool if they win a championship. Doesn't really matter if they don't. I don't expect them to be honest. But yeah, end of an era in Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers coming into his last year.
another NFC Championship loss, I assume.
Yeah, that was pretty funny, especially with the Last Dance comparison that they
Yeah,
had,
the last
because
NFC Championship loss. So many people were
it's
commenting.
pretty funny though, because like
Yeah,
it makes sense.
it
Because
does. I mean,
Jordan
they've.
and Pippen were going for a three-peat, and then they're going for a three-peat in NFC Championship losses.
I mean,
It,
it's honestly
it
kind
kind of
of
makes sense.
sad how many times that talented team has gone to the NFC Championship and just not been able to finish.
Last year was definitely their year. It's just a lot of small coaching errors, and
Mm-hmm.
they just had a bad first half, I think, and Desmond King. That's really all I have
Oh,
to say.
was it Desmond King?
Yeah, it was right. He was the one
No.
that like gave up 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, it
Not
was. It
five,
was. It was.
obviously. I'm exaggerating,
Yeah,
but
he gave up a lot, and then not even last year, but when the Falcons a while ago now, 5 years, um, when they went to the Super Bowl, they beat the Packers too in the NFC Championship.
they
Like
beat
the
them. They like
Packers,
absolutely destroyed them.
yeah, the Packers have just
Yeah.
not had good luck in the NFC Championship, which is because if imagine if they won all of those NFC Championship games, they
Well,
would
not even all, half of them. They'd
yeah
been in the Super Bowl like what, 4 times in the past decade?
they probably would still like have at least one more ring, just
Yeah.
at least one more ring, just the NFC Championship game. Something happens there, just not able to get the job done.
So yeah, they've been to the 2010 was the one where they won the Super Bowl, obviously, and then 16, 19, and 20. Those are the four, right? I think, or am I missing one?
I don't know. I forgot, bro. There's so many.
Well, that's those are the ones that I remember, and those in itself would have been at least two or three Super Bowl appearances, which
Yeah.
is, and I think that's really what's hurting is Aaron Rodgers' legacy right now because he's
Yeah.
definitely one of the most talented quarterbacks of all time, without a doubt.
Agreed.
But
Agreed.
everybody, he only has one Super Bowl
He's
and
the
only
thing
been
is,
to one Super Bowl.
there's this argument that's constantly going on. I mean, not really constantly, but like it's a discussion that arises. Who's the more skilled player, Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady? In my
Well,
opinion,
off the
Aaron
skills,
Rodgers
he's Aaron
Aaron
Rodgers. Is
Rodgers is
that
the
even a
most
question?
skilled player, but that's where the thing is, who's the best quarterback in the NFL? That's
Well,
where the
best quarterback and most skilled quarterback are kind of different things if you think about it.
exactly, right? So you don't know what does best mean. Does it mean the most accomplished? Does it mean the most talented? Does it mean
Well,
the most
neither of them are the best. Let's get that out of the way right now. Like right now. I'm not
you're
of all
saying
time. That's
yeah,
different
yeah.
right now.
I'm saying like currently in the league, Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. Tom Brady is by far the most accomplished quarterback, but he's also not the most skilled quarterback in the league, and I think Aaron Rodgers has that by
Well,
a
he'll
mile.
never be. Yeah, Brady will never be close to the most skilled quarterback in the league. He's like not athletic at all, but he's
He's able to
one of
get
the
the job
smartest player in
done.
the league.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's just
and the
clutch. I think that's
experience.
really it.
I think the experience also plays a key role in his success.
Yeah, definitely. But Aaron Rodgers' talent, that'll go down as one of the greatest talents
There's
ever.
so many plays of him just
Like he's been making
heaving it
Mahomes
up.
like plays before Mahomes even existed or was relevant.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And okay, this is probably more luck than skill, but just the fact that he's thrown like three Hail Mary touchdowns on the last play, each 50 yards,
That is pretty cool.
it's just like how?
And then he's what? Probably only 100. How many picks has he thrown in his career?
I have no clue, to be honest.
I know he's probably one of the least. He's thrown probably. He has one of the lowest touchdown interception ratios I've ever seen.
Oh, give me 1 second. But after this, do you want to move on to the Browns?
Yeah, go ahead.
He has 89 interceptions
In
in
his
his
career?
entire career.
No way. I was thinking like 120.
No.
That's insane.
In
The heck?
6,587 passes, he has only 89 picks.
That's insane.
Oh
Oh
my.
my gosh.
That's for less than 1%, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, not even that. So like, how many touchdowns did he throw in his career? Like 400,
Um,
500? No,
let
sorry,
me check.
500, too much. 400, 300, somewhere around there.
How many touchdowns? He's thrown 412.
Yeah, so that's literally even I'm literally giving rounding down 4 to 1 touchdown interception ratio. That's insane. That's like I can't do math. Um
It's
uh
1% of his throws. 1.4% of his throws get picked off.
well, dude, I don't even know. That's actually insane. One of the most
And
protected balls when it comes.
that's over 16 seasons. See, 1.4% interceptions, that's not that good, but when you do it for a consistent amount of time, that's just insane.
Yeah, that's really cool. But now let's move on to the Browns.
A lot of
Any first
defensive,
thoughts?
just a lot to say here. I mean, a ton of new defensive talent added to the Browns
Yeah,
team.
I
A
don't.
great draft class. A
This team really
great,
confuses me.
great draft. A completely dynamic offense. I mean, I honestly don't know what they're missing to go
Yeah,
into
they
the
have
AFC, like maybe even the AFC Championship next year.
like on
Like
paper they have zero holes. Like they have
exactly. That's
talent, skill from top to bottom.
exactly. And the thing is, this team, literally 5 years ago, if someone told you in 2021 that they're going to the Super Bowl or like even have a chance at it, people would laugh in your face. They went 0-16 like less than 5 years ago or close to 5 years ago, and now they're on their way.
2016 or it was 25. I don't remember. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
It's just insane at how much this team has developed and how good that they're able to rebuild.
A
With
very fast
Mayfield,
turnaround.
Baker Mayfield, they constantly had a quarterback rotation going before they drafted Baker Mayfield, and now they have a quarterback that's somewhat decent, somewhat able to get the job done. And they also have Odell Beckham, Nick Chubb in the backfield, Myles Garrett, Jarvis Landry, on and on and on. That new linebacker out of Penn State, I forgot his name, Jeremiah.
He's not Penn State. Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
Yeah. I don't know
Okay.
how he fell that far into the second
But
round.
it's just
Oh my! I don't even think it was the second. Yeah, it probably was the second round, but he was literally projected to be like top 20 pick in the draft, and he fell all the way to like 50 pick. That's crazy. They got a steal there in the second round.
It's insane.
And yeah, I was gonna say, I know we've been talking, well, for the past like minute, we've talking about a lot about the good things about them, but it's looking a lot similar to how they were in what was it, 2019, I think, or yeah, 2019 was the year they went 6-10, where everybody was like, "Oh my God, they're going to the Super Bowl after they traded for OBJ."
I understand that, but like, there's also been another season, and they kind of almost like made the playoffs and kind of beat the Steelers, who also, I mean, they weren't that good realistically. They just had an easy schedule, but still, they were able to get at least a playoff win. I mean, that's something coming from 0-16.
And they probably would have won that game against the Chiefs if that wasn't that bad call in the end zone.
It's just they were actually close to beating the Chiefs too. Like they weren't. It wasn't even a huge margin. Like they actually had an opportunity to take the reigning Super Bowl champs down. Like that's just completely insane to me at how well that this team has developed over the past couple of years. And all I can see is that in these upcoming years, they have a good amount of years left in them to create that Super Bowl winning team, that championship level team that they need in order to erase their terrible legacy.
I mean, like looking at the team they have now, how better can they get? That's what I'm trying to think.
I'm just saying
They literally have
developing wise, like
arguably the best O-line in the league. OBJ's literally become underrated now, in my opinion. OBJ, like, I don't know if we've ever thought that might have happened. OBJ's underrated. Jarvis Landry, Rashard Higgins, and even the backfield, literally the best running back duo in the league, without a doubt, and Kareem Hunt.
Oh my.
And then, like, even though Baker Mayfield's pretty much an average quarterback, he's one of those quarterbacks where he needs all the pieces around him to succeed. Like,
didn't the Browns also, sorry to cut you off, but didn't the Browns also draft a tight end, or am I thinking of the wrong team?
yeah, I think Harrison, well, that might have been last year. I don't know if it was last year or this year. They
I
drafted
think
a
it was
tight end.
last year, but I forgot.
It doesn't really matter. They have 3 tight ends on their team.
They have Austin Hooper though. He's still good. That's
Yeah.
nice.
And when I was saying about Baker, he's one of those guys that I think he's under a lot of pressure this year, especially even though he had a great end to this season last year. He's under a lot of pressure to perform and do well, because what does he have to not succeed on this team? If like, let's say the Browns for somehow maybe end up don't making the playoffs. I don't know. Let's just say.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Baker has a chance of getting replaced within next year or the next 2 years.
Yeah.
Because based off of the roster that they have, I haven't even said anything about the defense. I literally just looked at their offense right now. They have easily one of the best rosters in the league, and basically Super Bowl expectations for next year. And yeah, he just has to be average in order for them to be good.
Hey guys, so unfortunately we were unable to finish the second half of the previous episode, so we're finishing it now. We're currently recording this a month later than we originally recorded the first half of this episode, so the first week of the preseason, or the second week I should say, is over right now, so we're going to go into some analysis and go over some of the big games for you guys here.
Yeah, so first we're just going to start out with the very first game, excluding the Hall of Fame game. The very first game of week 1 of the preseason was the Patriots and the Washington football team. So I think the main story here is probably Mac Jones going, I think 13 from 19, 87 yards. That's kind of weird just thinking about it. How does he go 13 completions and only have 87
I
yards?
don't know,
While just
but
throwing a bunch of checkdowns. But yeah, he did make a couple good throws, even though I remember one I saw he made a really good throw towards the back of the end zone, but it was dropped. So, but yeah, he definitely did make a good throws. I think his arm strength was definitely a little bit. You could definitely see that his arm strength wasn't as good as some of the other quarterbacks you can see from this draft. But I think overall, like especially those touch throws and those deep throws, what he's been basically known for, especially in his college days, he definitely showed that against the Washington defense.
yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, we can just see how excited the Patriots fan base was to have Mac Jones on the field out there. We saw he got a standing ovation. He didn't even play a snap yet, and they immediately were just so excited to see this new guy out of Alabama compete. And I also want to touch upon their. I don't know. I'm pretty sure he's their backup running back. But Ramondre Stevenson had an insane 80-yard touchdown run. I don't know if it was 80, but it was a really long touchdown run, and he burnt everyone down the sideline. That was huge shocker to me. Like that's some insane physical freak of nature type play that I did not expect from a backup. So I'm pretty sure they have a pretty decent stacked backfield. I mean, they're still against second and third like string players, but he seems like a pretty solid running back for right now.
Yeah, those are the types of things that you really like to see, especially with those borderline players in preseason. And now onto the Washington side, I think Chase Young was really um, basically as he finished 2020 really good, and he basically just picked up where he left off, forcing an incompletion over on Cam Newton that was basically almost a sack. And he's basically obviously it'll be pretty easier against those not as good O linemen, those second and third stringers, but he's basically torturing that entire Patriots O line every single play back to back. So yeah, I think he's just picking up where he left off and hoping for another great season for him.
Yeah, I mean, he was a rookie last year. He's going into his second year. Only potential for him right now is upwards. I could see him becoming maybe even in terms of legacy, he could build a legacy that could potentially be better than Aaron Donald right now. And I mean, that's
Yeah, you never know.
comparatively what I see
Definitely
him.
can be a top 10 edge rusher after this year.
Yep, yep, definitely. So let's move on to the Steelers versus the Eagles. I mean, we see Dwayne Haskins had a pretty solid um, performance. Nothing too crazy, but definitely not bad.
No, it was yeah, 16-22, 161 passing yards, a touchdown. That's especially for a preseason when you don't get many reps. That's really solid.
Mm-hmm.
And even Mason Rudolph, he and Mason Rudolph are in like the competition for that backup role. I think based off how Dwayne Haskins played when he was in Washington, obviously it didn't look that great, but this outing for him in preseason was really good.
Yeah,
And yeah, go ahead.
yeah. So I was just gonna say, I mean, everyone, like right now, he is a bust as of right now, as of how high early that he
Well,
was
no matter,
taken.
I think no matter what happens from here on out, like I don't see him magically becoming a superstar quarterback because
Yeah, yeah.
when you're drafted top 15 in the first round,
Mm-hmm.
your expectations are to be a superstar quarterback or like a
A
decent
franchise level
franchise
quarterback.
quarterback
Yeah.
or you're bust. And I don't see him living up to those expectations, but putting those expectations that he had when he first came into the league aside, this was I think really um good to see for him.
Yeah, it was a good game for him to let everyone know that he's not completely garbage and he still
Yeah.
has
I
something left in him.
I definitely forgot he existed until
Yeah,
like I watched this game, but
he performed very bad for the Washington football team. But Joe
yeah.
Flacco on the Eagles, 10 for 17, 178 yards, one touchdown. It's all right. I mean, it's not bad.
Well, yeah,
But
he threw. Well, no, he didn't throw, but I forgot. There's one guy that was like a
Nick
79 yard.
Mullins? No, sorry.
No, no,
I
no, no, no.
yeah, yeah.
It was like a 79 yard, or not pass, but like he caught it and then he ran 79 yards from Joe Flacco. But I don't know. It's just one play that stood out in my mind. And yeah, Jalen Hurts, 3 for 7,
It was
57 yards.
yeah.
Nothing crazy.
Nick Mullins
This,
though, 1 for 5, 4 yards, two interceptions.
Listen, Nick Mullins. Oh, he was on the Niners right before.
He was second string on the Niners too.
Yeah, and I remember that one game, Thursday Night
He
Football
did
against
good.
the. I don't know if it was Monday or Thursday Night Football. He was really good, 300 yards passing.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't even know that he played for the Eagles until you
Yeah,
just mentioned it.
neither did I, to be honest, until I just pulled this up. But anyways, yeah, Quez Watkins is the guy that you were talking about. One reception, 79 yards, one
Yeah,
touchdown.
yeah, and then nothing really crazy for the Eagles here, but I don't know. It just made me look at Jalen Hurts. I I I'm I usually think I'm pretty high on Jalen Hurts, but I think slowly my expectations are going down for him. Especially I think today in practice because they had a joint practice with the Patriots today.
Mm-hmm.
So he threw two pick sixes against them
Yikes.
today. So I don't know. Especially because I have him in fantasy, so I have to be pretty high on him. But like, it's not looking so good. But
This is just,
hopefully, especially his passing, he has great running talent. It's just mainly the passing and getting his rhythm in passing and accuracy. It's just all the small things that you really see in these like run-heavy quarterbacks.
yeah. Isn't this his third year going into the league, if I'm not
Second,
mistaken?
he was a rookie last year.
Oh, yeah, he was. Sorry, my bad. Anyways, I think Chase Claypool had a pretty good catch, but I don't know if he screwed up his arm on that. I don't know what the situation is
Wasn't
on
that the
that.
no? That was the Hall of Fame game.
Oh, it was. Oh,
Yeah,
that makes sense. Sorry.
yeah.
Yeah. Moving on, let's go to the Titans and the Falcons.
This was the most boring game I've ever watched in my life, dude.
Mm, I didn't like.
I was hoping to see Kyle Pitts, but
Why
we
would they?
saw
Yeah, they wouldn't do
we
that.
got Felipe Franks.
I mean, to be honest, Felipe Franks, he had one good play, which was his rush, and then AJ McCarron. We had a total combined of like 21 yards passing in a
It was the
four
most brutal offensive.
quarter.
Even though it was preseason, I don't even know why I was watching it.
It was so bad, bro. And
Yeah, and it was just sack after sack, even on both sides of the ball. Falcons defense did pretty good, especially pass rush
yeah,
wise.
yeah,
I think defenses on both sides were very solid.
I agree. I think the Falcons defense just gave a little bit too much, but I think the scheme of the Falcons defense that Don Pease put into
Dean,
place, Dean
bro,
Pease put into
call
place.
yourself a Falcons fan.
Anyways, the system that the defensive coordinator put into place seems to be good. He's basing our defense more off of speed and like of what our skill talent is, and I think our offense, like none of our offensive starters played this game, so
Yep.
it's like
No, but I
it's
really
like
like the
you can't
aggressiveness
win.
on. Sorry, I was just saying I really like the aggressiveness on third down, especially all the blitzes and all the
Mm-hmm.
sacks that we got on third down, especially. That looked
Especially
really
the one with
nice to see.
Jalen Hawkins just completely shooting through the gap. That was so satisfying to watch. I haven't seen a play that like the Falcons have made like that in a while.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like we've been looking for pass rush, even preseason. Obviously, you can't really. Preseason doesn't really translate into the regular season, but in
Yeah.
some cases it does. But it's really nice to see. Like we've been looking for pass rush. I feel for like the past decade. So
Yeah. So hopefully,
hopefully
yeah.
something new, something changes this year. So and then on the Titan side, their linebacker Rashad Weaver, 1.5 sacks, 3 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 2 QB hits, and 1 pass defended. So yeah, it was pretty much defense the entire day in this game.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, it's overall nothing really crazy that really happened.
I
Any
mean,
other?
yeah. There's not really much takeaways you can take from this, considering the fact it's all second and third string, and not really any like rookies that were drafted this year, like in the other
Yeah.
games you can't really talk about. So.
Yep. All right. Next one, Arizona, and Dallas. Um, well, Matt Prater went 4 for 4. That's the only thing I remember from this game.
I didn't really
Game-winning
watch
field goal.
many of these games, but
And
looking
I
at
just
the
saw like a few
stats,
highlights and stuff.
yeah,
So
yeah.
like,
I mean, it's a preseason. I'm not gonna watch like all the games. Like
yeah. But
Chris Streveler seems to have a pretty good. I mean, not pretty good, but like not decent either. He just played a lot. He had 24
um,
attempts, 12 completions, 107 yards. Uh,
that's not bad. That's pretty average, I'd say. Is he on the
yeah,
Cowboys or the Cardinals? I don't even know who that
Cardinals.
is. Oh, that's nice.
Their Cowboys had pretty even distribution within their players. A lot of them had around 13 to 16. Ben DiNucci, 6 for 14, 46 yards, 1 touchdown. Cooper Rush, 7 for 13, 89 yards. Garrett Gilbert, 7 for 16, 80 yards. So pretty even
Yeah.
all around the
Well, one
board.
thing that stood out to me from this game was Rondale Moore, especially coming. He's like a Tyreek. I know we use that a lot for anybody that's fast, but like he's really like a Tyreek Hill type player. Just really speed, quickness, and like even though he only played like 21 snaps, 21 snaps is a lot actually. What am I saying? But like they used him on those like what is it? Jet sweeps, short passes, and deep balls. He's just a really versatile player, like a Tyreek Hill type one. So he could definitely be one of those most versatile players in the coming years, especially since Christian Kirk and AJ Green. AJ Green's only a 1 year deal, so he's probably gonna be gone unless he comes back to his early 2010 form, which I doubt. And then Christian Kirk is a free agent after this year, so Rondale Moore is looking like the wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 3 at least on this team coming into next year. So lots to expect for him.
Yep, completely agree with you. I mean, the Cardinals already have like I wouldn't say a stack because AJ Green is kind of old now, but DeAndre Hopkins is also getting there. But they have a pretty decent offense right now, and I think if he develops a little bit more, he could also turn into a pretty solid player.
Yep, I definitely agree. And next game, Buffalo Bills at Detroit Lions. I just remember the game-winning field goal here.
Do we
Another
really
one.
need to talk about all of these, bro? They're all the same.
Yeah.
You want
Do
to
you want to
go
just
Bears? Because of Fields?
um Justin Fields, bro? I don't know why people are getting so excited over Fields.
Let's talk about it. So,
Yeah, let
Justin
me.
Fields, 14 for 20, 142 yards, 1 touchdown. Andy Dalton,
Wow.
2 for 4, 18 yards. Nick Foles, 1 for 38 yards.
I
So,
mean, yeah, like he was good, but like you know the throw I'm talking about. I already
yes,
talked to you
yes,
about this.
yes, you did.
Like, what was so special about it? It was just a
Yeah,
wide open throw.
yeah.
It would have been bad if he didn't make that throw.
Agreed. I mean, I think it's just there was so much hype around him. They were like, as long as he
It's just
plays
Chicago's
decent.
finally has a quarterback.
Exactly. And I think it's also because I'm pretty sure they came back and won, right?
I don't know. I didn't watch it. I have
Yeah,
no
they
clue.
did. They did. 13-3 at half, and then they scored 17 unanswered points.
Wow,
So I think
that's
that's
actually
also
pretty
why
cool.
Chicago Bears fans are really excited about Justin Fields. I
He
think he
did pretty good
performed
though.
pretty well in the second
Yeah,
half.
14 for 20, 142, one touchdown, 33 rushing yards, and one rushing touchdown too.
Yeah,
It's actually really good, to be honest.
I did
Even
not
though I was just
expect
joking
this.
about like him being a little bit overrated. I think he's gonna be a great player, but I like he's just a little overhyped. Like
No, I
people need to
understand
chill out
that.
a little bit.
I
People just need to
understand
chill out a
that.
bit. But I'm not saying that he's not gonna be a good player. He's gonna be a great player.
I think his
Um,
potential could be perhaps a little bit
Russ,
maybe
Russ.
not Russ. I was thinking more Deshaun Watson, but yeah, Russell Wilson would also be a good comparison.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And
But
Tua, 8 for 11, 99 yards, 1 interception. Jacoby Brissett, 6 for 10, 67 yards. Reed Sinnett, 6 for 10, 51
wait,
yards.
You said Jacoby Brissett?
Yeah, he's on the
He's on the
Dolphins.
Dolphins.
Dude, these players
Dude,
are going everywhere, bro. I can't
that's
keep up with
mad.
this.
Well, yeah, I don't think there's anything really crazy. Especially that there was one throw that he threw to Gasicki to that I just remember. It was like 50 yards or something. But that's the only really main thing I remember. But
Yeah, I think
Tua actually was pretty good to be honest. Other than that one interception, he was doing pretty good
it's also against second and
overall.
third string players, right? We got to remember how he performed in the regular season last year. It wasn't all too that great.
That's
So,
true. So like a lot of you just gotta wait and see.
exactly. Because a lot of these plays, majority of the starting players are not playing in these games, and if they are, they're
True.
playing only a couple snaps. So there's not
Yeah.
much you can take away from either offense nor defense,
Hmm.
besides their schemes and how they're playing. But you can't even
Yep.
do that because each player is different, so they're going to utilize them differently. So
That's true.
yeah,
Yeah.
we can move
Well, yeah.
on to Broncos and Vikings massacre.
The only thing I remember from I don't know, I barely remember. There was two things I mainly remember: the pick six and then the 80-yard touchdown. G Lock looked insane this game. I'm gonna be completely honest.
5
Too
for
high.
7, 151 yards.
2
That's
touchdowns.
actually crazy. 5 completions and
That's
151 yards
averaging like 30.2 per throw. Like,
per throw. Wait,
yeah,
oh okay, per reception. I see.
per
Yeah,
reception. Yeah, sorry, not per. But
that's that's crazy.
and
Even though
Teddy
it's
Bridgewater
probably
didn't do too bad either.
yeah, they're both especially. I think the two quarterback competitions I'm really interested right now is the Denver one and then the Indianapolis one.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer the Indianapolis one more. Well, even though it's only for like a month, because once Wentz comes back, hopefully a month. When Wentz comes back. But Jacob Eason and Sam Ellinger, both players I've definitely watched in college, and both very talented players that definitely both of them I like a lot. It's going to be really cool seeing which one of these actually gets a good opportunity to start and play in the NFL. And I know I kind of sidetracked to this game over here, but both of these situations are very like similar. Both quarterbacks did great. Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater and Sam Ellinger and Jacob Eason. All four of them did great in their first starts, and that's really great to see, especially with these players that have a lot to prove, especially those young ones.
Yeah, I mean, going back to the Broncos, Teddy Bridgewater, he has had one hell of a career. I mean, he was out for almost an entire year because of, I don't know if it was an entire year, it might have been, but he, because of his concussion, went to the Saints, went to Carolina, then went to the Broncos now. He's just been going all over the place, and I think that he really deserves at least one more shot at proving himself. I mean, he already has, but I
Yeah, I
think,
think last year was his shot. I don't really see where he goes from here. Even though,
I don't know, man.
uh,
He's always been that quarterback who's not the franchise level, but he's definitely not a second string. He's right somewhere in the middle of there.
like that makes sense. I see what you're saying, but yeah, it's like because he got off such a great start in his career, and then
Exactly.
that
And
one
then,
injury
yeah,
put it all to a halt.
the late hit literally costed him his career.
Yep. Well, as of now, hopefully
Hopefully he
it
makes
goes
a
up.
comeback. But I
Yeah.
mean, I'm honestly giving him props to him, bro, because I'm pretty sure he also had a knee injury, if I'm not
Yeah, he had an
mistaken.
ACL. He tore his ACL too.
Yeah, so and he's came back from all of that, and he still
Mhm.
hasn't completely deteriorated. He still has fight and spirit and skill left in him, so
Yeah,
it's good for him.
definitely agree. Anything else for the Broncos and Vikings?
Not really, unless you see Mike Zimmer completely trash his own team and say everything. Literally, like if he's like, we threw the ball bad, we ran the ball bad, we punted the ball bad.
I didn't see that.
In an interview, he's like, "There's nothing good." Like he kept saying, just listing off things, and he says, "Other than that, it's all been good." Like he completely demolished his team. It was so bad,
Well, when you lose
that badly in
by
a
30
preseason
points,
game. Yeah, I mean, I don't
it's got
blame him.
something. Obviously, both sides of the ball went wrong. So, uh, yeah. Thankfully, it's preseason. Doesn't really count. And I think they'll do pretty good this year based off of or whatever. Let's go over to the Colts and Panthers. I think this is the
Yeah,
last one.
we could do Texans,
Yeah, I already kind
Packers if you
of
want.
touched over this one. So anything you have to add?
Chuba Hubbard, it's my guy. I don't know if you saw one, but the line got stuffed. He bounced outside and went for a hell of a game.
I saw the picture. I literally had it on my phone right now. On Instagram, it was like this play ended in like an 80-yard touchdown or something.
Yeah, and it was him like in the middle, right, with the
Oh, what
offensive
the?
line, and
I
then
just
he
got some big
bounced
news.
outside. What?
Falcons have become the first and only team to
Yeah,
have
to get
100% COVID.
100% vaccinated.
Crazy. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I like to see that.
it's nice.
All right. That was random. Okay. I know I just pulled it up on my phone, but yeah, I didn't see the full video, but I saw the picture. It was like this ended in like a 60, 80-yard run or something. But
Yeah, he seems pretty solid. Luckily, I have him on my fantasy. Hopefully, he does well. But
then you're hoping
besides
for
the
Christian
point,
McCaffrey to get injured.
I also have him on another fantasy team. I have two different fantasy teams. One of them is him. One of them is CMC. If CMC gets injured, one of my other teams succeeds.
But thankfully, Chuba Hubbard's younger, so he has a lot more time.
Yeah.
Yep. So, PJ Walker was really good in this game. He made a couple great
Is
throws.
that Philip Walker?
No, it's Philip Walker.
There's no PJ Walker.
Yes, there is.
There's
Bro,
no PJ Walker. There's Philip Walker.
who the heck
Oh,
is
it's
Philip
PJ
Walker?
Walker. It's PJ Walker.
Yeah, like
Yeah, but it shows Philip Walker. Never mind. Continue.
yeah, I think that was it. He made a couple great throws. Even though they lost the game, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. This was a great to see a lot of the young quarterbacks, especially from both sides. PJ Walker, Will Grier, and then Jacob Eason and Sam Ellinger. It was great to see a lot of these young quarterback play.
Both of them
both
balled out, dude.
Yep.
Both of them.
You mean on the Colts side?
Yeah, on the Colts, sorry.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was saying before. Both of them were absolutely insane.
Holy.
And this quarterback competition is not going to be very easy, even though it's only for maybe a month or month and a half. This is big for both of these players, especially this might be the only opportunity they get to show what they have in their entire career.
This is huge. I did not think the Colts were that stacked depth-wise at the QB position.
Yeah, I know they drafted Jacob Eason last year, and they drafted Sam Ellinger this year. I don't know why, but
this just like motivates me even more. If you guys saw our first episode, we said the Colts could be a dark horse for the AFC, and now I'm truly believing that even more, considering their depth at quarterback. If Carson Wentz does, hopefully not, but if he does get re-injured, they have good backups there.
Yeah, I agree. You have anything else to add on any of the games?
Let's talk about the Packers-Texans real quick.
Packers, Texans. I don't even know. I did not see anything about this game, so I have no clue.
So, well, we know that Jordan Love made a couple good throws. The only reason I want
It's his first start, first game in like 2 years.
The only reason I want to talk about this game is because of Kurt Benkert and his insane performance after coming back. Hear me out. He literally got released by the Falcons, came as a third-string quarterback to Green Bay. Do you see the insane clip that Aaron Rodgers, throwing a 50-yard into the net?
Yeah, or
Kurt
that was
Benkert
him,
did
though.
the exact same thing.
No, Aaron Rodgers did it shorter, though.
Yeah, and Kurt Benkert did it, but further. So his skill level is just insane, and I can only see him going up.
You can't be comparing him to Aaron Rodgers, though.
Yeah, I'm not comparing. I'm just saying he has talent. Like, he's not bad.
Obviously, anybody in the NFL has talent. They're not just there for some random reason.
True. But, yeah.
No, I'm not saying, but yeah, he definitely did really good. I'm just messing with you.
I mean, 8 for 12 for 88 is not bad, but he had one interception. But regardless, that's still pretty good from not playing for a year. Because the last game
did he play?
He didn't play in any preseason game besides the Falcons versus Broncos in 2018 or 19.
The Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
He got injured.
And he got injured last season, and then he's coming back, played this season.
I remember that.
Yeah. He was on injured reserve for the entirety of last season, I think.
I very much
remember that. Or for the first half.
Because he balled out that game. I remember he balled out in that.
Yeah, he balled out in that game too. I just think hopefully he gets more opportunities.
Yeah, definitely.
And the Texans quarterbacks, Davis Mills, Tyrod Taylor, Jeff Driscoll. Tyrod Taylor.
I know.
Is Tyrod Taylor probably going to be start if Deshaun
Yeah,
Watson
Tyrod
leaves?
Taylor starter, Davis Mills backup, and then there's one other guy third string, and
Jeff
then Deshaun
Driscoll.
Watson. Yeah, Deshaun Watson's fourth string.
And because of all what's going on right now.
He's not going to play. I don't see him playing anywhere anytime soon. I think
I was confused for a second because Tyrod Taylor went 4 for 4 for 40, but I know he's better. Like, he's good enough to get more reps, but then I came to realize
it's
probably
he's
a starter. Yeah. And then Davis Mills, 11 for 22, 112 yards, 1 interception.
Pretty average, I'd say.
Yeah. A lot of these quarterbacks did average.
Yeah, it's their first game. What do you expect? It's like their first NFL game. But for Davis Mills, not Tyrod Taylor.
He's been in there for a while. After the
Chargers. It's just basically that's what preseason's for, getting used to like the NFL environment.
Yeah.
And not a bad start for him.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's going to wrap it up for us here today, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed our third episode. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe. And any final thoughts, Mehul?
No, thank you guys for joining, and hope you guys join in for our next episodes, and hope you have a great day.
Oh, one more thing, guys. The next episode that we're going to be posting is going to be after the season starts, because there's not much that we can develop within 2 weeks, because normally we post every 2 weeks. So it anyways will be around that time of the season starting. So the next time we see you guys will be after the first game has been played, and we'll talk to you guys about that and our predictions for the next game. But thank you guys.